Biden has granted millions of work permits to illegal aliens, crushing wages for actual Americans while he drives up your gas prices by 50%, 60%, 75%. And by the way, if you notice, energy costs are going up a lot over the last month. But while Biden has betrayed African Americans and Hispanic Americans, union workers, and everyone else, I will fight for you like never before. You know, the unions will fail because of what's happening here. The unions will not be able to sustain this. The unions are going to be, they're not going to be unions very long. They're not going to be able to sustain it. But I think the worst hurt will be the African Americans. Then you're going to have the Hispanic Americans. They're going to be hurt tremendously by this invasion. It is indeed an invasion. And it's not, maybe in some cases, but I'll tell you, they're coming from places that you don't want them to come from. In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had record tax cuts and regulation cuts and rising wages for cities. That's right. Totally rising within all our cities, but for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. And all of this without any inflation. Now the inflation's a record number. It could be 75%. You know, they like to say it's 58% and 54%, probably 75%. And anything you made is more than wiped out. Look at your grocery bill. When you go for groceries now, you're paying 3 times what you paid 2 years ago. Joe Biden squandered everything we did under the catastrophe of Bidenomics. He thinks it's a good term. It's a horrible term. Wisconsin manufacturing workers are suffering, and Milwaukee's 30th Street industrial corridor is being gutted. They're all leaving. Just last week, Master Lock, I buy Master Locks, closed down. Now I won't buy them anymore. Then I'm making it. They're going to make them in Mexico now. They're moving to Mexico and to China. Thanks, Master Lock. We appreciate it. But it's really yet another Biden surrender. We don't let them do that. We can't do that. So what you do is you put tariffs on them. So the locks cost so much they have to stay, you know. It's not that complicated, but some people think it is. Some people think, oh, that's so terrible. You know, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. No president ever took in 10 cents, not 10 cents. And we gave 28 billion of it to your farmers. Many of the people in Wisconsin got a check. And if you think it's easy to get 28 billion for the farmers from President Xi, let's see who else could do it. I said, would you like to give our farmers 28 billion? And the reason is they were taking advantage of our farmers for many, many years before I got there. And I went to our Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue. I said, Sonny, what's the damage that was done? He said, over a period of 2 or 3 years, it was about $28 billion. I said, that's okay. They're going to pay us back. And they did. They paid us. They gave us $28 billion. I distributed every penny of that to the farmers and some of the people in this room. You think Joe Biden is thinking about getting money from China for the farmers? He just wants to go to sleep. Leave me alone, darling. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. That would never have happened under me, where you go, hey, look, that they allowed that to happen, to put us in a position where we were horribly treated. Our farmers were so badly treated, but we got the money back. And you remember I said, it's going to take a little while, this negotiation, but think about buying a bigger tractor and more land, right? And 6 months later, it happened. They broke, and they gave us the best deal, one of the greatest trade deals ever. But then when COVID came, I don't even talk about that trade deal anymore, because COVID was so devastating for the world. I call it the China virus because I like to be accurate. With your vote, we will throw out Bidenomics, and we will reinstate MAGAnomics. We love MAGA. Make America great again. Make America great again. You ever see Biden? We will stop. What's that word? MAGA. We will stop MAGA. We will stop it. I said, does he know what MAGA means? It means make America great again. He wants to stop it. It's true, he does. He does, actually. We will stop Biden's inflation train wreck, and we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to get your energy prices way down. You know, he's gone back to my energy for the drilling, but the day after the election. But they're drilling now because prices were going so crazy. The day after the election, it all stops because he wants everybody to have electric cars, which the whole thing is ridiculous. Nothing's as crazy as allowing millions of people to come into our country, nothing. But the electric vehicle is crazy because they don't go far. They don't go far. They're all going to be made in China. They're not going to be made in your country. You want your country. But think of it. We have more natural resources. We have more oil and gas. We have a thing called gasoline. We have more than any country in the world, and we don't use it. We want to go to all electric, which we don't have. California's a wreck. You know, California, you know, you've heard of Governor Newsom, right? Governor Newsom. He gets on, oh, we're doing great. We're doing great, absolutely great in California. No, they're not doing great. They're doing terribly. I mean, if he ever became the candidate, which I don't think he will, but if he ever did, all we have to do is show what's happened out there. But they want to go all electric. It's just crazy. You know, Germany tried it, right? Germany went all soft. They got rid of their coal, and they got rid of their nuclear. They're out of business. Now they're rebuilding a coal plant China's building a coal plant every single week, and they think it's more than that. And we're playing around with these windmills that cost a fortune, most expensive energy. If Biden is reelected, he's promising to impose a $6 trillion tax hike, which will turn literally the U.S. economy, will destroy the U.S. economy. I never heard of a guy campaigning where he wants to raise taxes. You know, all my life, I'd listened with my father. We found it very interesting. I always liked politics. I never thought I'd be on this side of the ledger. But here we are. How did we do? We did okay. We did okay. We did okay. We did okay. Actually, we had one of the greatest, they were saying we had one of the greatest presidencies in history, and it's true. And we're going to top it with this one. We're going to top it. And, you know, in a certain way, if you remember, I campaigned on the border because the border was bad. But then, what happened in 2020, I couldn't really even mention. I'd say to my people, I want to talk about the border. They say, sir, the border, you fixed it. It's 100% perfect. I want to talk about the border. They said, sir, nobody cares about the border. You fixed it. Well, now the border is 100 times worse than it was in 2016. There's never been a border so bad. There's never been corruption and rape and pillage and loss. And people coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen with the people where they're coming from, criminals like never before, just pouring into our country. We have no idea who they are. So when I fixed it in 2016, I believe this could be like 100 times worse. That was a bad border, but that was bad, understandably bad. This is at a level that nobody's ever seen a border like this. We've taken in, I think, at least 15 million people. That's bigger than almost every state. And I think by the time we end, we might almost be, by the time we get this lunatic out of office, how he can like this, by the time we get him out of office, he's going to be at close to 20 million people he will have allowed into our country, mostly unchecked, unvetted. We have no idea who they are, where they came from, but we're going to find out. It's a big problem. When I win, you are all getting tax cuts, and you're getting a brand new Trump economic boom.